Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come get you a helping. All my peoples and ethos. Welcome to the Real HD Show. It's a higher discussion. This is prime time with a purpose. Don't get nervous. This is your social justice show. Safe space, safe place for you to drop your ace. If you know about melanated people in spades, you're trying to hold on to that ace. So you can cut that book, have a good look for you and your partners. So if you want to do that, in terms of what's going on, the good, the bad, the ugly of our people in every day and every way, you have got the right show. Come on and let's talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, Real HD Show is here. Have no fear. I'm your host, Vic. It is your voice, your victory on the show. That means you can call up. There's a live talk on the bottom, StreamYard.com. ETWRK CCVR2. And we're waiting for a slew of people to come on through. You can too. We are blasting off to 5 Facebook channels, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We're all over the place. We're the Real HD Show. And we want to modify and make some changes to the Real HD Show. And we want your opinion. So please give it to us. Please let us know in the comments, in the emails, timestamp it. How do you think the Real HD Show can serve you better? How do you think the Real HD Show can help you be a better you for the rest of the century? We plan to be on a long time. You know what I mean? Even one of my sons or even my daughter might take over this joint when I'm gone and keep that freedom movement moving the way it's supposed to. Please patronize our great sponsors. We got Redeem Vacations. That's right, Redeem Vacations. So that means if you come through and you bring 5 people, courtesy of yourself, you would get a 4-day, 3-night stay at an American destination, courtesy of the Real HD Show, and Redeem Vacations. You'll get a voucher. You can go on out there. You can go to Florida, Vegas. That's what the commercial is for, the Grand Rapids, wherever you want to go. It is used in those ways. Total Package Energy, please go patronize them. I know the brother, he's a good dude. We had several telephone conversations about ways that we can do this and ways that we can bring this all natural melanated product for energy and vitality to the people. So please go patronize that Total Package Energy. And last but not least, if you ever wanted to be a podcaster or have your own multimedia show, the Real HD Show is recruiting. That's right. We're recruiting. We're recruiting for original content-based shows. We are recruiting for specialty shows. I have a cannabis show that I'm developing. I have a relationship show that I am developing. I have a sneaker-based fashion show that I'm developing. I'm developing all types of unique content. I'm even developing content where if you have a small business for a nominal fee, you'll be able to advertise your small business, your gig economy business, or your mom and pop shop. Keep it locked. It's the Real HD Show. Let a brother know we could talk and we can develop y'all a show. Let a brother know we are recruiting, we are hiring. We got Series A, Series B, Series C funds. We can get this done. All right. So moving on, because I meant to start early tonight so that we have enough time to get through the preliminaries, meaning our different channels and different segments that we do, so we can get to our main subject matter within the realm of the show. Once again, this is a safe place, safe space for you to drop your ace and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of melanated life in this country, i.e., the world. So please get involved. We got some healthy topics tonight. We are here for this. Power to the people news. There's a lot of news going on. There's a lot popping. We need you to come on in, get deep enough to swim in, and let's get it going. So we're going to start it with what we usually start it with, which is our AAT report. Healthy, wealthier, and wiser for a great you. And because we need cell power, we were robbed of it about maybe 2 or 3 years ago with the onset of the pandemic. And we've been trying to make up ever since. So let's cue the segment music and let's get ready for the AAT report. Healthy, wealthier, and wiser for a better you. Peace. Get ready for, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up in the chat or give me a comment in the chat. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear. I'm getting a good reading on my side, but I thought I was coming through pretty good the other night just to find out that I was having some technical difficulties. So please, if you're out there listening, give me a thumbs up in the chat or give me I can hear you, and we will keep it rocking. So we have Maccabee on for our AAT moment. Let me pull the good brother up. Thank you, Maccabee, for letting us rock out with all your great health videos. Here is another one.
I don't know if you know about this, only recently it came on my list. Some don't even know it exists. Banana blossom. That's what it is. Banana blossom could be something you want. It's the flower that grows on a banana plant. Some people call it banana heart or banana flower. Okay, let's start. Seems to be a good source of nutrients. Helpful in a many ailments, even some infections they say it prevents. Sound like my kind of ingredients. Minerals, fiber, antioxidant. Even for the women who are pregnant, help the morning sickness and muscle cramp lactation. Get the milk they want. Some places they are delicacies. People use them in enough recipes. A lot. As a substitution for fish, they say. It make a very nice dish. On Wednesday I'm gonna make some. Try something with banana blossom. What me eat Wednesday is gonna be fun, and remember, you're all welcome. A medical Monday. Yes, I am.
Yeah, so that was banana blossom. Has many, many great health properties. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is a brother loud and clear? Am I too clear? Let me know, man. Put it in the chat. Let me know where you at. Let me know how this is going down. All right, there we go. So, banana blossom has a lot of antioxidants, rich in vitamins and nutrients. And he even mentioned that, it helps a lot of women during pregnancy. You know what I mean? And of course, because of we were robbed of our cellular power over the last 2.5 years. We have to fight to get all those vitamins and nutrients back. It's almost like when you're dehydrated and you lose electrolytes. You gotta fight to get those electrolytes back into your body. You know what I mean? And you got to take certain, eat vitamins, minerals, certain supplements to get those things back into the body. Banana blossom can help. Try it out. Let me know what you think, man. When I put these health moments on the screen, they're not just me to be dictatorial. They're meant to have us have a higher conversation, because that's what the show is about, having a higher conversation, having a higher discussion. Let me know what you think. And would you consider even using banana blossom? You know what I mean? But we still in the middle of an AAT report. Especially considering, would you use banana blossom? Would you put it in a smoothie, grind it up so that you're not, taking it directly? Or sometimes it's best to take things directly. I know when it comes to a plant, you want to get the plants as You want to use the plants that have as much direct sun exposure as possible, because then that means the chlorophyll factor is built up within the plant, and you're gonna get the most nutrient dense plants that are gonna give you the most vitamins and minerals that you can afford, in that regard. So check out Banana Blossom. Let me know what you think. There's some other issues I want to talk about on the AAT report, right? And one of them is this one that my wife sent me. Here we go. Panera's lemonade that kills you is really a story about our broken country. Shout out to Glows Forever. Um, I'm good. She sent me this story. Uh, associate producer of the show. That's also wifey. She always sends me stuff that would be helpful and aid in what we're trying to do on the show. Educate the people, make them aware. So I'm gonna pull this up. I am going to um let me know in the chat. Do you want me to share my screen so we could read along with it, or you just want me to read along and you could just look at the pic? Let me know. Put it in the comment. I'm just gonna start reading the byline, and then when we get it. So it says Panera's charged lemonade can kill you. That's a reasonable conclusion to draw from the media coverage of two wrongful death lawsuits accusing a chain restaurant of failing to sufficiently warn customers about the beverage's alleged dangers. Right up in the New York Times warns that the drink, which has an unusual amount of caffeine for lemonade, is linked to or blamed to for deaths and counting. Charged lemonade has gone viral on social media as a lemonade that kills you. Panera stands by the product, even though it has more warnings about the ingredients on both online and in store. Now, I'm going to try to get to the paragraph that talks about the ingredients. Okay. It says first, Panera's charged lemonade. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, give me a comment. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't want to be reading and everybody's just looking at the page. Let me put it in the bottom of the screen. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can hear me, if you can hear me, comment. All right, let me know because I don't want to be broadcasting and rocking out, and then you guys can't hear me. Okay. So please let me know. Give me a comment. Give me something. Hey, peace, Godspeed. Can you hear me, brother? Let me know. Give me a comment, man. Let me know if you can hear me. So I'm reading this. It says Panera's lemonade that kills you is really a story about our broken country. It says first the facts. Panera's charged lemonade has 260 milligrams of coffee and a 20-ounce serving, 390 milligrams in a 30-ounce serving. Most stores allowed to pour their own cups through. Some have moved the drink dispenser behind the counter. It says that's roughly accurate, though arguably misleading since Panera doesn't sell 30-ounce coffees. However, it sells a 20-ounce light roast with 384 milligrams of coffee, considered considerably more per ounce than charged lemonade. A 20-ounce light roast of Starbucks coffee is 475 milligrams of caffeine. Neither chain's coffee comes with a caffeine warning. Second, the allegations from Sarah Katz had a disorder of long QT syndrome that causes abnormal heart rhythms. She strenuously avoided caffeine, but allegedly drank the charged lemonade without realizing it was an energy drink. At the time, after consuming the beverage, she had a heart attack and died. Afterward, Kine and Spencer, a personal injury firm, represented the family in their suit against Panera, filed in Delaware, where the chain is incorporated. So there's that. So there's that Delaware corporation. Again, peace, brother. How you doing, man?
Peace, family. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well, bro. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on. So you hip to this
Indeed.
lemonade that everybody's talking about?
You know what? I was, crossing over from the Facebook page to this side, so I didn't really get to hear the whole thing. So I don't want to speak on it because I didn't hear the whole thing yet.
Oh,
Pardon
nah. So
me.
I'll just give you the long and the short of it. So it's like it's a lemonade with a huge like what I was just thinking. So it's all right. Let me just go back. Let me be real short-winded with it. So it's basically a lemonade that can kill you. That's the headline. Okay.
Mm.
And and it's really a story about the country's broken, I guess, health policies and health rules. And are they really looking out for people when the FDA approves things and when the FDA has stuff in the works? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
we've heard several times that sometimes the FDA will get a little side money to approve something by a company, or even the
Okay.
way that they came out with the jabby jabs, during the other period, that was all rush, and
Mm-hmm.
now this is just another example of something that might have got approved that's not necessarily healthy for people, and a couple of people with heart conditions, myocardial infractions, drunk the drink without realizing it was an energy drink, and
Uh-oh.
two or more people have passed away because of it. So we know
Shoot.
how.
Wow.
Yeah, I was watching an old school flick the other night. I believe what was it? It wasn't Claudine. Which was it? It was like in the 60s. It was Rolling Thunder, Hear My Cry, and
Mm.
Morgan Freeman was in it. It was named after
Okay.
the famous book, Rolling Thunder, Hear My Cry, and he played a vet who came back from the war, and he came back to help his family, and he, black man, decorated soldier, and back in the antebellum South, and you had a family member that was a soldier, that was good money, so you depended on that person to come on back, bless the family with a little bread, help the family out. Now, how this story pertains to Rolling Thunder, Hear My Cry was, I was looking at the way they were eating. Everything was farm to table. You feel me? So they was healthy right there. They
Mm-hmm.
may not have had a whole lot, but what they had was straight out the ground. It was water-based food. And then also, um, oh, Brother Mozzie's on too dope. Okay. Peace, Brother Mozzie. What's going on?
Hey, chilling.
We're in the middle of the AAT report, and we're talking about the Panera brand lemonade that can kill you because of how high the amount of caffeine in it is, and the fact that Godspeed is with us again, and it's misleading. It's misleading, and not
Yeah,
only is it misleading, but I was telling him about Rolling Thunder, Hear My Cry, and back in the antebellum Jim Crow days, they had. I was looking at the amount of serving sizes that they drunk, and it was like super small. So even if the coffee was charged, you weren't drinking like a 7-Eleven big gulp of worth of caffeine. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So if you had like
Mm-hmm.
a myocardial issue, it was going to impact you because you was just deluging yourself with caffeine, like a mad person, like it's Kool-Aid, or like it's some sort of sugar drink or some sort of sweet drink. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
Mm-hmm.
there's a trend of people passing away from it. And then we know that, of course, myocarditis is a thing that came out of the pandeezy. Lots of Americans are faced with that. Lots of our people who have weakened or pre-existing health conditions are faced with weakened heart states because they had to wear that mask. Number one, which impacted your breathing, or maybe even you got the jabby jab, and then I was giving you those Pfizer effects. I mean, if you've watched the show in the past, you know what we talked about. We've talked about that ad nauseum. What do you guys think about that? And do you guys patronize Panera? And Panera, I think Panera got its claim to fame being like a super sandwich kind of place that kind of reminds you of like grandma's food or nana's food, or you know what I mean, where you get that nice bowl of soup and a sandwich and oh, it's gonna be all right, baby. You know, eat your sandwich, eat your soup. You know,
Well,
and then
their
of
claim
course,
to fame.
go
Their
ahead.
claim to fame is actually clean eating, as they like to call it.
There you go.
You know, they don't have a lot of overly processed foods. You know,
Mhm.
most of this outside of the bread, and even then they claim the bread is made with, you know, whole materials, and you know, and so when you're getting all your meats and all that, they're not highly processed. So you got that clean eating, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
That was their claim to fame.
Right.
But yes, they did the soup and sandwich deal.
Yeah.
Between the two, you know, it's what, you know, everybody wanted supposedly. But the interesting thing about that is, when it came to drinking coffee like that, one, we didn't have that problem back then because we didn't eat like that. The issues that we have with the heart today and everything else didn't exist back then. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when we did drink coffee, if you ever notice, our brothers in the Caribbean and Cuba in particular stayed true to how Africans drink coffee, which was you always drank a small amount. And even though it may have been highly concentrated, it was also still cut with something. 9 times out of 10, it was cut with some type of milk substance. So I think it's more to that in terms of that charged lemonade. And you know, because, you know, I've been in Panera a lot. You know, a group that I meet with on my investment, we meet in there every Sunday.
Okay.
And I remember when they had the 4 or 5 different drinks that were charged up. But here's the thing: is that natural caffeine or was that synthetic caffeine?
Right.
And that's the issue of what no one wants to talk about, because caffeine typically comes from, especially that kind of concentration, come from coffee. But you can't have coffee flavored lemonade or coffee flavored guava. So that means you had to use some process.
Yep.
To strip the caffeine, which 9 times out of 10 was a chemical process or somewhere where you're processing this caffeine, and now you're putting it in there.
Yes,
and
sir.
So what do we find? Once again, we have processed things that are killing us. It's no different than everything. It's something that's processed. Because come on, you go down to, if you've ever been to Miami, you go to one of the little bodegas, man, or a little corner spot, and dudes are chilling, drinking a super concentrated espresso coffee, man, and they're fine because it's natural.
So at home, let us know. Let us know your experience with Panera? Have you taken this you know, this lemonade coffee that they have, this spritzer? And I know what's popular, and maybe brother Godspeed, you could put us on. I know when folks like to do the overnight shift, they kind of overload on the caffeine so they can stay up late.
And they can, absolutely. Absolutely.
They could do what they got to do on the shift. And then, of course, we're in the time period of mixing coffee with the Red Bull, with the liquor, with the whatever is your stay up cocktail of choice. You know what I'm saying? That's what you put together. So you can get through that little period. I remember when I used to do security at night when I was homeschooling my sons. I used to do it at Johns Hopkins when I was living in Bmore, and I was hitting the coffee something hard. You know what I mean? Because I was truly doing 11 to 7. You know what I mean? So
and you like they're real how could I say mainstream with it. Like you said, they'll do the what is that? The Red Bull. They'll do that. They'll obviously do a lot of sodas. So you see nurses like 3 a.m. drinking sodas 3 a.m. You know, and I'm like, wow. That is not the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
still get the sugar crash and wonder why they're still falling asleep. So,
And that's the part
yeah.
that kills. That's the part that gets me is this stuff crash makes you crash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember one of my visions of, you see, I used to work the night shift, but I only did it to get on the job. I hated working nights because it was just so against my natural body clock, you know? But my vision of getting off before I got off the night shift, before I got rid of that shift, was a nurse who used to get on my case for like the idea of me kind of, you know, lulling off in the hallway a little bit, like trying to keep my eyes open. And next thing you know, when I look in her office, her head is face down on the keyboard, and all you can see is on the screen, the letters just keep going and going and so she's getting on my case.
Right.
But she's like,
She
you
was
know,
on,
you
she
can
was
just see the
on, she
letters.
was on lean herself, huh?
But now, you know what's interesting? And this is going in kind of in a different direction, so to speak, as it relates to. But Godspeed, you in the hospital, man. Here's what kills me. Hospital, it's almost as if you guys' schedules is designed to make you guys have health problems, man. I mean, because remember,
Yes.
all companies used to do the
Yeah.
3 shifts. You had the 7 to 5, 8, 9 to 5, 2 to like 11, and like 11 to 7. And those were kind of like the naturals when you break up the day. That's kind of almost natural. But then now you get this, you come in at, 3 in the afternoon to 3 in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and it's like, how do those things even make any kind of sense whatsoever? So I just thought that
I
was
have no idea,
interesting.
man. And
That's why you
especially,
see these people in the hospital, some of these nurses and doctors, man, off in the corner somewhere, knocked out trying to catch some Z's. Because they got these crazy shifts, man. It doesn't allow the body to get any type of rhythm or anything, man.
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, man.
Hey,
And
we
so
That's
got
why I got
some.
off that shift as
up
soon as I could.
Yeah, we got some comment. Lady T says, ever since I changed my diet, no drinks like that. I avoid no sugar, no soda, no sugar, Red Bull, etc. Second comment is, I work for an espresso, so I drink the coffee black. That's what I consume if I need a kick. No doubt. No doubt.
You know what makes the caffeine, and this is the other part about that, drinking that, not only is it processed, but they're giving it to you with what? One of the most highly addictive substances known to man, and that's sugar. You're mixing the sugar with with processed caffeine, processed sugar, processed caffeine. No wonder the kid heart exploded, man.
Wow, that's nuts. Yeah, so they're suing Panera Bread. I don't know if they're gonna win. Doesn't look like a winnable situation because you kind of volunteer for that. But I digress. Let's switch lanes a little bit. We got this one coming up that I really want to talk about because this is something affecting our community at rampant rates. Scientists create microscopic bots made from human cells that repair neurons, opening the door to future Alzheimer's treatment. Now, that on my wife's side, she has someone that passed away who had really bad dementia. My grandfather, he passed away from really bad Alzheimer's. We had to put him in a nursing home, and then he broke his hip. And then, of course, you get a brother without his wheels, and they just slowly decay. So this particular health issue, these things are called anthrobots, and they could be made from a person's own cells. In these new experiments, the microscopic bots repair damaged nerve tissue. Now, if you know anything about nerve tissue, it can't be replaced. But now, according to this, it can. Scientists hope they will one day help people with serious health conditions. Microscopic organisms made from frog cells assemble. Damn. I'll read this again. Microscopic organisms made from frog cell assemble babies in their Pac-Man shaped mouths. Oh my gosh, this sounds like It sounds like,
That
you
sound
know,
good.
That's legit. Come on.
Nah,
scientists
that ain't sounding
believe
good. No.
scientists have developed tiny robots using human cells that could one day patrol our bodies, searching for and healing diseased cells and tissues. The so-called anthrobots, assembled from human cells, can repair damage to brain cells in a dish, according to studies published. Scientists at Tufts develop microscopic robots to eventually heal diseases. There are multiple additional steps before this happens, but they foresee the technology repairing tissue damage from conditions such as Alzheimer's. Now, while all of that seems great, I remember once upon a time when folks were asking if that, that silver oxide or that iron oxide that people were saying where it was in the jabby jab was something that was mobile or was it something stationary?
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, we got anthrobots that can repair human cells. And this ain't a 10-year period.
Show.
Yeah, this ain't a 10-year period. This ain't a 5-year period. This is
They
like
were
right
just setting us up.
Yeah, this is right around the corner. Now you've got these anthrobots, microscopic organisms that go in the multiverse around your body, and they doing things. Talk to us, man. What y'all think about that?
Hegelian dialectic in effect, man. We already had the solution. We're just going to present y'all with a problem and then tell you how we've come up with a solution. There you go. But here's what's interesting.
Go ahead.
But here's what's interesting. Now I'm looking at an article that says the astonishing biobots can help neurons regrow. But here's the caveat. But researchers have no idea how. Now we're getting into that realm of we're not able to understand and control the technology. And what happens then? The tiny biological robots can move.
Not only that, let's play chestnut checkers. What if this is connected to this wild AI stuff that, you know what I'm saying? These anthrobots running all through your body. What if these things are connected to some sort of AI that's no good? They got this what is it, this Q1 AI that's supposed to be some sort of mathematical algorithm that's sort of like they were trying to keep it on the low, and then Google paid like $200 billion for it, some craziness like that. And it's supposed to be like this dark AI that nobody's supposed to be fooling with. But then Google got billions for it all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all think, man? Because look, we suffer from PTSD as a people like crazy. And if this can honestly help with that, then that should be a viable remedy, or at least something that we should consider. I ain't saying jumping, both feet in the water, but it should be something to be considered, right? Because we live hard, stressful lives, and the first thing to go is the mental. You know what I mean? And then, but on the other side of that, do we make ourselves guinea pigs for whatever this is supposed to be? Or do we lose out being too cynical?
I laugh because it's a hard situation, like I'll put it to you like this, man. All it comes back is going back to the basic ABC of it all over again. Dr. Sebi, Gary Knoll, Lalila Africa, they already had the answers. They already got the answers.
Let's talk about it.
Mind you, I'm not perfect, all right? And I know people hate to hear somebody say that, but I'm saying that from a sincere place. I have my vices too. It may not be alcohol. It may not be like weed. It may not be cocaine, but I have vices, Some of it is homemade. I make my own squash pie. I make my own bean pie. Those are vices, eating some food of my heritage or my different, I have a couple of different heritage, that I deal with. in my soul and in my life, right? So me eating a roti, you know, like, hey, that's a vice too. You know what I'm saying? So it's about picking the healthier vices to have. Your favorite food, no matter what it is going to be a vice. When I make my smoothie in the morning and I coast from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. on that smoothie, that's my vice. You know what I mean? It's a little sweet. There you go. But I try to use the best sugar I can find. I find me some agave and things like that. But anyways, to get back to the track, going back to the basics again, when I call out those great elders, those great names, is be in the field of health. These people are great. The thing is that the answer is there to prevent Alzheimer's, to prevent all these other different ailments. It's there. Diabetes run rampant in my family, and Alzheimer too. I had a great aunt that had Alzheimer. I mean, it's there. You know, on my parents' side, you know, they're from Trinidad, so you know, diabetes and Alzheimer's. That's the language in Trinidad. Okay. Those are the sicknesses that run the most rampant outside of the stuff that the rest of the world brings in. But the rest of the world bring it all in anyway. But I'm saying, you know, outside of AIDS and all this kind of stuff, you know, things that develop later on, you know, as the decades rolled on. But the stuff that's been the main sicknesses down there from a long, long time back, since like, Jesus Christ, how far back we could go, since pre the 1940s, right? There's definitely been diabetes and Alzheimer. Definitely Alzheimer's, you know. But it's just, again, it goes back to the gurus. Those guys and girls who created all these like natural herbal techniques to how could I say, to diffuse all these sicknesses. It goes back to that, getting back to those diets that they suggest, you know. So I yield the floor. But yeah, you know, I'm sorry for ranting.
No, do your thing, man.
Sorry
That's
for
great.
that.
That's what this discussion is supposed to be about. Go ahead, Brother Mozzie.
Oh, and I was just going to say, and if you're talking about diabetes and dementia, they're all sugar related.
That's sugar.
Yeah.
That's sugar. Big Mama got that sugar.
Yeah, but
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, melanated folk, Black nurses everywhere, please go get yourself involved in the immigrant situation, because they giving nurses 20 grand per contract to work with the folks that are coming over here from overseas to help, you know, manage that population. Hey, what up, Adaris Fat? Heart disease is also a problem. Yeah, brother, absolutely. Thanks for contributing. So yeah, so if you're a nurse or you're a health practitioner, they are giving major money for health practitioners to go get involved and help out with the immigrant crisis that they got going on in all these major sanctuary cities. That's going crazy, and they paying major paper for it. So go get involved. I'm about to put it on so the sister could say a little bit more to the folks out there. And I know it's the holidays, and folks could also use a little bit of tap, a little bit more money, a little bit more bread in the thing. So let me put this on really quick. Let me find it. There we go. Real HD show. Check it out.
So happy Thursday. Today on Nurses in the News, headline reads, Chicago shelter nurse rakes in $20K in a week following migrant surge. Chicago has paid at least $56 million to favored healthcare staffing to care for more than 13,000 migrants who have arrived this year, according to NBC5 investigation. They found out that nurses were making $135 an hour or more. A manager was paid $14,000 for just 1 week of work, and a nurse earned an eye-watering $20,000 for a week in December. Both invoices included overtime. To see invoices like this are disgusting. They are outrageous and a cause for immediate investigation, Alderman Raymond Lopez told NBC. Meanwhile, New York is currently paying 3 times more for contracted laundry service at some migrant shelters than it does in homeless shelters. Now let's take a look at this pay stub, right? The YMCA at High Ridge, Chi-Town. Favorite healthcare staffing. Nurse. It's an RN. $195 for 12 hours. $2,340 a day. Looks like the nurse was working every day is how they racked that up. The city denied NBC5's investigation request for additional records showing specifically how the $56 million in funds were allocated to migrant health workers. They denied because it's none of your business. Several aldermen are calling for more transparency regarding how these taxpayer funds are being spent. Oh, why? Because it's going to nurses? Okay.
All right, so we're back. Real HD Show. I show that because, you know, every day I travel and I also teach my kids. And every time I have to deal with a parent, I see more nurses and healthcare workers coming as parents in my, you know, in my meetings than I see any other occupation. So if y'all can get out there and hustle that little bit of extra, go get it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that helps you too, brother. Godspeed, but you know, hopefully you can take advantage of that too, because I know you're in the healthcare field as well. Is that something that you might want to look into?
Yeah, you know, it's something I'll promote because I'm not a registered nurse, unfortunately, in this case.
You'd be surprised.
That'd have been a nice group to get.
You'd be surprised, man. They need all hands on deck in them situations. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yes. Man. Shoot, you know, like if I'd have known how to, if I'd had planned to go into the health field, I would have done different things in school, but I had no plans of it. I had no idea of it. I stumbled into that job, not stumble in the sense of, you know, like, oh, you know, just bob into it, but more like a cousin of mine said, hey, look, you'd be good at this, you know? And at the time I was in between jobs. And when I got there, then I stayed in, you know, it's not really, how could I say, a place somebody plans on staying at, but then as the years go on, you get part of the union and yada, yada, yada. Then you still find yourself there. And then you're saying to yourself, damn, I wish I'd have known how to been here. Or so I'd have, you know, went to school for a doctorate or something, you know.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, without time to waste, if you like that topic or you want to contribute to it, please timestamp it, leave your comments. Like I said, we're blasting on 5 Facebook channels, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Mob Crush, D-Live, Trouble Nation. We're everywhere with a Real HD Show. The Higher Discussion. Let's jump right into it. Power to the people. News. Wait, what just happened? This just happened. Let me pop this up. Where's my story at? Okay. Boom. So now taking a knee is okay in the NFL. That's interesting. Let's put this up real quick. Let's show the clip. This brother has a lot to say, and we're going to talk about it on the other end. It's only a minute. Bear with us, Real HD Show.
Would you look at that? Beginning tonight in Kansas City, NFL teams across the league will hold a moment of silence before each game this weekend following last week's terrorist attack in Israel. They're gonna kneel in protest, which I salute. You have your right to do it. I have no problem with it. However, I can remember about 7 years ago when a particular player, Colin Kaepernick, took a knee to protest police brutality in this very own country. And so many people were in outrage. So I want to see those same people that had the outrage, had the same outrage, talk about disrespecting the flag and all of that garbage. Yeah, 7 years ago. Let's just bring up the fact right here. As I was saying, if people keep the same energy for all across the board, then hey, I can't call you a hypocrite. But a lot of y'all are hypocrites, and I know exactly why. I know exactly why. Because you don't want certain people to have rights. Certain people have melanin complexion. I'm going to keep it like that, though. Peace and one love to everybody who got love for everybody, regardless of your race. One love, y'all.
Turn the mic back on. There we go. It's on and popping. And let's talk about it.
He said it.
You can
He
kneel
said
for
it.
you can kneel for some, but kneeling ain't cool for others. And I remember the stink that Trump and so many other folks did during that time period, because of what was going on with Cap. And of course, since then, Cap has settled, and he's been trying to get back into the NFL, and he's been in various endeavors, wrote books, opened a publishing agency. He's done some really, interesting philanthropic things. But here we go with this. You guys' thoughts? Keep that same energy, or are we on the rah-rah train for what's happening overseas? Because that's really what this is about. Let's talk. Let's talk at home too, man. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Keeping that same energy, or are we dealing with savage inequalities? What are we thinking?
Jonathan Kozol. And people don't know that's who wrote the book Savage Inequality. But I just thought I kind of do a play on words, whatever.
Yeah. No, I was with you. I was with you. That was your moment, though. I wasn't going to expose that. That was your shot.
Even I knew it. That's why I paused. I chilled. I was waiting on it.
It's amazing the things that are out there that goes on that can educate our people and give them the information and knowledge to think critically. And unfortunately, everybody's watching Channel Zero and reading the funny pages in the newspaper that don't exist anymore. So I don't know. But yeah,
my man said the funny pages. You took it back.
Yeah, man. And it's just sad, man, because there's obviously there's always a double standard when it comes to us. But it's amazing how one group in society really just has a control on what can be said and what can't be said. I think that's the important part for me that stands out. Certain groups of people, their story is more important than anything that exists.
Absolutely, I agree with that. That's it right there. It's said. I prefer that they keep the same energy, definitely. But something's telling me they won't. Something's telling me they won't, man. They won't.
And
these folks are hard. It's like I was thinking to myself the other day, I'm gonna have to come up with a new thing. You know how now the brothers like Cam and Mace, when they do their sports show, they say pause, right? but before it was no homo. Hey, look, I'm just quoting a street slang here, right?
Right.
But I'm like, hey, no witty one. You know what I'm saying? Because like when one of the great elders who moved on, he was a young elder at the time of 54, Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He wrote a book called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. All of a sudden he was anti-Semitic, and I was like, well, Dad, he was quoting European scholars. He was quoting everybody in that little book of his, and I was like, and that little book still stand up to this day. And I'm sitting there like, wow, you know what I mean? What is anti-Semitic about certain opinions or even facts? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's like they took something that has real definition to it and turned it into a slang that works for them. You know what I mean? And I mean that generally speaking. I'm not saying every single individual from that demographic agrees with that. I'm not going to say that. When I listen to Hot 97 in the morning and I hear Peter Rosenberg talking, I can tell he's from somebody from that big demographic that don't quite think like the whole big demographic. He's an individual, So I say what I mean. You know what I mean? I don't always point at a whole demographic of people and say everybody's that way. But individually, if I could find some names, I'm going to call those names. So they can't say I'm not calling those names out, But it's crazy. But yeah, I'd like to see them keep the same energy. what Jay-Z said. Jay-Z said something about Kaepernick's movement one time. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this halftime show. Not everybody wants to stay on their knees all the time. I get it. So don't be on your knees for this one either. Don't be on your knees for that. No disrespect. But I'm just saying, a little bit, I'm a moody guy, to a certain degree, not to the literal sense. You know what I mean? Sometimes I could be in a how could I say, in a social mood, and I don't know where it comes from. And I think I'm in one of those moods tonight, where I'm just like, look, the nonsense is just nonsense, man. And I'm tired of like tiptoeing through the tulips and worrying about people's feelings. When I punch in the clock at work, I got to worry about everybody's feelings, the patients, the managers, my supervisors, my coworkers, myself. I got to protect everyone, everyone's best interest when I punch in that clock, and I think in the law book, they call it, the master servant rule in the law book and the Black's Law Dictionary, and they say for 8 hours, you're underneath that person's, pretty much you're underneath that person's yoke, basically, in all the fancy wording. Well, I'm not on the clock right now, so, but it's just crazy, man. I'm just fed up with a quadruple standard, But anyway, I yield the floor. I'm sorry, I go off a little bit.
Nah, you doing good, man. You sometimes just gotta get it out, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Brother Theb says they have an economic and political power as a people. We need to develop that. True words were never said.
Right.
True words were never, ever said. Awesome. Thanks for your comment. For sure. Almost to the point where it's a monopoly. But what I noticed, you can turn on a Fox or MSNBC or any political talking head, CNN or whatever, and then you'll hear them when it comes to dealing with issues of like police brutality or something like that. They'll say that, we're making perpetual victims of ourselves in those regards. But then, those same people will turn right back around right now, regardless of party that they're in, and support this perpetual victimhood that's popping off right now.
Yeah.
What's the thoughts on that?
They create the double standard, man.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, they make sure, the interesting thing about them is they always make sure that their interest is always looked out for, period. Whether they may go overboard or not, they always make sure their interest is looked out for. I don't care if they're Zionists. I don't care if they are Orthodox. I don't care if they're mainstream. I don't care if they're Jews for Jesus. They still come together and they make sure that they all identify with something, and that that which they identify with is always upheld and protected at all times. It's a real simple thing.
Yes, sir. Yeah. According to Al Jazeera, they wrote a piece, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, according to the House, asserts in a dangerous resolution. Palestinian rights activists denounce a Republican-led measure as a push to smear Israel's critics amid the war in Gaza. That's something going on right now. They're trying to really institute, a nativism of sorts to kind of rally, people to, of course. I found something interesting and I wanted to put it on here. I wanted y'all to hear what y'all think about this. And it's in the same vein. Are you guys hip to this at all? So it says Israel makes those imprisoned serve their full sentence in prison, even if they're dead. Are y'all familiar with that?
No.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah,
I can see it happening.
Let me play the clip. I got the clip.
Most of the people they got in jail or in prison are people that they're trying to commit genocide against right now. So it makes sense.
And that's that, that's that P4S that with G4S that we were talking about earlier in one of the earlier shows, and all those security and penal systems that are going on that kind of span the globe, originating right here in America. But let's just check this out. Real HD Show.
Which is that Israel not only imprisons Palestinians who are alive, they are also imprisoning dead people, martyrs. 398 Palestinians who have already died in Israeli jails or because they were shot by Israeli army are kept in jail. Those who die in Israeli prisons because of a sickness or because of torture have to stay in prison in refrigerators to complete their sentence.
Yeah.
Which
how
could
does
be
Israel
100
justify
years.
that, Budur? How does Israel justify keeping the bodies of Palestinian prisoners or people who've died under their watch?
No justification. 142 of the Palestinians who were killed recently, and mostly young people, a lot of them are children, are kept in refrigerators, refusing to release them as a form of psychological torture against their families, as a form of collective punishment against their families.
Right.
And 256 are kept in what they call numbered cemeteries, where there is a number for each one, and they are just there. Some of them have been there for more than 40 years.
Right.
So it's an awful kind of practice that, of course, none of that would happen to an Israeli Jewish person.
A shocking practice that you described there, Mr. Bar.
Oh.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, "Are you serious? Like, come on!"
Not only the psychological warfare, just the fact to think of how diabolical you have to be just to even come up with something like
that. Let us know. Let us know at home. Give us your initial reaction to that. Let us know what you think, and put it in the chat or put it in the comment section, and let us know what you think of that clip. That clip was like really, really like rousing, stark. You know what I'm saying? They have people in the brick or locked up or in refrigerators or in jails until they serve out their entire sentence.
Supported by I can't. That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know what the that's like for people who have like a very deep belief system in having themselves, having themselves and their loved ones be buried and things of that nature. And just stop me from not understanding what was just laid out in front of me, right? Because some things could go over my head, I'll be honest with you, right? But from what I'm hearing, you mean literally they have dead bodies frozen to serve out the time of whatever they deem as a crime or whatever, right? That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah.
Like, look, again, I got a lot of West Indian roots, Guyana roots and Bayesian roots and everything, and native roots all together in the Western Hemisphere, period, right? There's a certain side of my family, they're Roman Catholic. I'm not Roman Catholic. I used to be, you know what I mean? It's big with them to have their choice of being buried or burnt and turned into ashes, but more so traditionally leaning to burial, right? I'm like, these people believe it's important to be buried for various different reasons. You know what I'm saying? It's a spiritual thing for them, It's like saying, well, you're not going to rest even in death.
So when you hear
in prison, things,
so when you hear about things, so when you hear about things, hey, Godspeed, can you go into your radio and hit cancellation? Echo cancellation. Okay. Let me know when you're ready. Just give me a thumbs up.
Okay. I'll
Hello?
I guess I gotta go in settings, so I'm gonna mute and
Yeah. Yeah, do that. Yeah, because I want to be able to have a conversation about this. So, Brother Mozzie, while Brother Godspeed is doing this, you want to talk about this? Let's talk about this in terms of an apartheid. Like we hear these ruminations about there being an apartheid regime of the Israelis versus the Palestinians, but you never. It's exactly that. It's thing of rumor. It's not like, people don't spend a lot of time providing whole evidence about things like this, and this is sacrilege. So if you, especially the two arch rival religions, one is, they're both Abrahamic, but they're kind of put on opposite poles to each other, and in order for Muslims to bury their loved ones, they have to wash them. I don't think I'm off about that. They
Not only
bathe
that,
them,
they have to be buried within 48 hours.
right, and they also, they have to, they
They have
also
to
have
be.
to wash their body head to toe, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So then, how can they, in any whole fashion, come to peace with burying or saying goodbye to their loved ones in that sort of way if they're being frozen and mistreated and not even released, put in these, like, these little kind of makeshift graves or whatever it is, and they can't, come to peace and come to terms with that? I think that's barbarous, man. What's your thoughts?
Well, remember, uh, Israel was founded not on religion,
Mm-hmm.
founded on politics. And the founder, the leader of the movement, Theodore Herzl, we know was an atheist who was the creator, almost like the founder of the Zionist movement. So the Zionist movement is not based on religion. So when you build when your goal is to create a state like that, and then those that protect and maintain it, they all have to buy into the same ideology and philosophy.
Hey, Godspeed, you can unmute your mic. Let me see if we can get you loud and clear. Let me see. Microphone check.
It's great.
Oh, great. You sound
You all
good.
sound good.
Okay,
How does mine sound? Mine sound good?
Nah, you sound straight. I was the one with the echo, but I
Okay.
know it's sometimes if you don't go in the back and click your echo cancellation, it'll do those little gymnastics. So that's good that you're able to continue to rock out with us. So yeah, I brought up the point while you were still doing your thing with the audio and all of that, that this was almost, this is evidence of an apartheid, because they don't even have the right to treat their dead the way they're supposed to, and it's sacrilege
Crazy.
based on Islamic custom that they can't even properly bury their people. Brother Sev said it's cruel and unusual punishment, and we as a people are used to, we know what that exactly is. You know what I mean?
But you know what though? Is it cruel and unusual punishment if you look at it from more of a sociological perspective of creating a state that is not founded on religion, but founded on an ideology in which you deem and find necessary to maintain power and control? Is it cruel and unusual? Or is it part of the way you structure things such so that you maintain the power and control that you have? See, because we're looking at Israel as this great state, this great, religious state. It's not a religious state. When you go back and look at it historically, how they came into being, there's nothing religious about them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you follow their history and their actions. Is it? I mean, the human in us, we say that's cruel and unusual. But I'm saying for them trying to find an answer for what would be not just cruel and unusual, but you're a psychopath. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But you saying that is anti-Semitic, right?
It might just be. You know what I'm saying? Because they have control over the things that we say that come out of our mouth. But see, do you gain that control over being a religious man, a righteous man, or do you gain that control over being diabolical?
What's interesting about what you're saying is the ancient leader in the 6th century, Bulan Kagan or Bulan Kagan or whatever his name was, he jockeyed 3 different religions before they settled on Judaism. They were Christians first.
Yeah.
And then that didn't work. So now they turned to Judaism, and that works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you, man. But we still gotta ask that same old question.
Yeah, man, they were in that same Rus Kiev area that is in turmoil right now.
That's
a good still point. Remains. Is that just good? Is that good planning of your society to maintain power and control? Or is that diabolical? Because sometimes when we talk about some of this stuff, when you think about it, we look at it from the standpoint of our own belief system. And we look at it at what we say, this is the standard of what is wrong in the world. But if I'm functioning on a different paradigm altogether, is that really crazy? And if I actually sat down and thought about it and say, let me develop my society and create that's going to be mine, that's going to dominate the world, and have everybody think about, I control what other people say and what they do. This is just good planning on their part.
When you take the emotion out of it, it can be seen a certain way when you take emotion out of it. But I get where you're coming from with it too.
I ain't advocating that, people. I ain't advocating.
No, you're not. You're not.
But sometimes we have to talk about this stuff, and when you're having a higher discussion, you're trying to take the emotionalism out of it. To say, hey, let's just try to be as objective as we can at looking at this. And sometimes the ultimate of being objective is saying, hey, what I just stated, which is, are they wrong for doing what they're doing to maintain their society?
And it's like, hey, look, it goes back to a certain thing. I don't know if they like to abide by this. I mean, and I get it. I could put it. I'm assuming that there's definitely, how could I say? There's certain differences between the governmental figures of that nation state or that so-called nation state and its religious clergymen and clergywomen or what have you. They're religious folks, right? I would hope their religious folks would disagree with what's going on. That number that the government's pulling, I would hope they would disagree with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it goes back to, okay, so the religious folks should disagree with that. Because, look, I don't care which holy book they're into, but at some point in time, there's something that says, do unto those as you would have them do unto you, right? So you got to figure, where is that at? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's not being practiced because there's been less done to them. And they scream and yell anti-Semitism. And it's not even as egregious as what is being said in that article that's being done over there with these dead bodies, So just putting that out there. Just putting that out there.
They released some hostages, right? And there was a young Palestinian boy that was celebrating. They peeled his cap.
Didn't Khalid Muhammad say something about what makes the devil a devil?
I'm mighty sure he did.
Some things, man, or some things are the embodiment of what a devil is.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Anti-human, anti-life under the disguise of not being that way.
Yeah.
All
But
the
that's
kid
that
was
trick
doing,
bag that they
all
throw
the
at
kid
us
was
all the
doing
time.
was being joyous about moving out of a imprisoned state to a more liberal one, because we know what's going on over there is not in a place where they can practice free range living and sovereignty. And they peeled this cap. They peeled this cap. Here's something interesting I want, and anybody at home want to tap into this, we could do this too. So there was all type of like speculation about the October 7th piece, and that's when they went over and bombed and the Hamas thing came, popped off, right? But check this out. Unknown traders appear to have anticipated October 7th Hamas attack research finds. So what this article is basically talking about is that a whole lot of people with stock options, day trading, and so on and so forth made a bag of money over the October 7th bombing. Let me hold on. Let me see if I can pull that up. I'll leave the title up there because I don't like to talk and put stuff on there without having these articles and things of reference, because then people think I'm being xenophobic or haters or hating or something. And I'm like, nah, my dude. This is real stuff. People are talking about this. I don't know if this is proven stuff, but this is things that people are ruminating about, and things that are out there in the ethos. What's your thoughts, man, when you first hear about things like this? And okay, let me see. All right, so it's an article out of CNN, December 4th, and I read the title. Unknown traders appear to have anticipated Hamas attack research finds. And then it says, bets against the value of Israel's companies spiked in the days before October 7th Hamas attacks, suggested that some traders may have had advanced knowledge of the looming terror attack and profited off of it, according to new research released Monday. Preliminary research, which hasn't been peer reviewed, is from law professors at Columbia University, New York, NYU, and details a significant and unusual spike in 5 days before the attacks in short selling and most popular fund linked to Israeli companies. And short sell is a way to bet against the value of a security. The bets against the value of the MSCI Israel Exchange Fund in the days before far exceeded the short selling activity that took place before COVID-19. I was just about to make that point. In 2014, Israel-Gaza war, and the 2008 global financial crisis. What do y'all think, man? And if y'all want to go ahead and read the rest of it, that's just a byline of the article, and then we will come on back. Let us know what you think about that in the chat. Let us know where you at. We are plenty deep into the show, and we are talking about some interesting stuff, because didn't we just talk about the actress?
Yes.
And Michael Rappaport going ham on melanated folk because we wasn't supporting all of this foolishness. And now there's rumination of folks getting the bag on these activities. Because of course,
once again, remember we had that question.
You know that all of these countries are incorporated, and you can buy stock options in these corporated countries. But go ahead, brother Miles. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no. We remember we had that discussion. Given the security of Israel and given the occupation of Gaza, we know that a Palestinian can't even walk 2 blocks without walking past 2 checkpoints. and having to show ID and everything else. So how they're somehow able to now make their way into Israel and have these surprise attacks had to be an inside job, man. We may not want to talk about it, but there's too much coincidence on things.
That's a good point.
See, I didn't even want to speculate there because that's the low hanging fruit is to say that, right? I just wanted to talk about how in the world did these folks, get the jump on this particular day trading to get the bag on this joint. If it wasn't something popping, if there wasn't some information flowing before the joint even popped off.
Right.
Not to mention the speculation of the people who were doing the bombing coming in on little, air tricycles against one of the most sophisticated militaries on the planet. Them little air things that they look like the flying monkeys in the Wiz or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm just saying, they could scramble in 35 seconds and be taking rockets out the air. I don't understand how you let a whole gang of folks get bombed up.
Some hang gliders.
Hang gliders, right. Paragliders is what they were calling them, right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. Some things, things that make you go,
Just tentacles, man. Tentacles and connections, man. Tentacles and connections. So everybody's heard of the whole Oxenshire 15-minute city piece. Them folks is out there struggling. Them folks is out there protesting. They do not want their township to be turned into a 15-minute city by the WEF or any other type of group that's out there. And if you haven't heard of a 15-minute city, 15-minute cities are the advent of ESG, which is environmental social governance, and it's meant to bring about to curb climate change and to curb the finite resources that Brother Masi always reminds us of on the planet. But in an effort to do that, there's another area that is being designated for a 15-minute city. Do I have that up here? I sure do. Here we go. So we got New York designated for 15-minute city development and planning and approval. So the excuse, as it were, would be to say that these provinces or these boroughs or in my hometown are being converted to this 15-minute city matrix to prevent or offset climate change. Am I covering it correct, Brother Mozzie?
Mm-hmm.
So that means if you can control the resources, if you can limit the traffic, limit the pollution, give everybody what they need within a 15-minute radius of everything, then you cut down on the planet's ability to be destroyed by carbon emissions. But then also, what that also means, though, is that you cut down on mobility. Now we know that mobility is a fundamental constitutional right. Mobility is as fundamental as the right to own your own home, have your own business, or be clandestine about your own future. So if they can limit your mobility because you can't drive as much as you want to, or as much as you can, to earn what you need to earn and do the things that you need to do, are we in fact being stripped of rights as a people? And is that the way that we want this new development, this great reset to take place take shape? And is it happening in a place like New York City that I thought, even me, when I started thinking about all of this and reading all the articles about WEF and 15-minute cities and ESG and DEI and all of it, all of it, I said, the population in New York is so vast that it would take a lot to actually institute something like that in a place like New York, Chicago, Cali. That's not really the case. That's not the case, because it's popping right now. What do y'all think, man?
Well, I read an article. I was reading an article a couple of years ago, and they were talking about somewhere in the neighborhood, I think it was $700 to $900 billion of development that was going on in New York City. And when you look at and you go down there, especially down in Manhattan now, you'll see these new areas popping up and all this new development. And they were already 15-minute cities because they didn't plan these to be obsolete. They planned these definitely for the future. So when you go into them, they're their own self-contained units. They got grocery stores, they got, lounge, they got, you name it, they got it. So yes, this is something that, although they're talking about a master plan, but that $700 to $900 billion of development that's going on, that is developing the 15-minute cities.
Yo, I'm right. I didn't live in Eden Wall projects, but I live my house is gotta be across the street. And then we got that's one of the hardest projects in, not bragging, but that's one of the crazier projects.
I was wondering about that.
In the Bronx, right? So shout out to Eden Wall, shout out to everybody there, shout out to all my loved ones that are in Eden Wall stand up. We used to play on Shefflin, we used to play on all those different blocks up and down there. And now they're getting a facelift. They're getting a renovation. Not saying that they didn't need it. Of course they needed it. But with all of this ESG, DEI, now they're even in the throes of doing that in those areas. And one has to wonder, is that because they're going to this model, right? And I wanted to show y'all one more thing, because my brother Sev is in the city. He's in Westchester. And they're about to go to these really crazy tolls, where it's going to cost you almost $30 a day to get in and out of the city. Have you heard about this, Luck?
You know what? I would say been experiencing it. That's for sure.
You driving every day?
No, not every day, but I'm on workers' comp right now, so my thing is anytime I go, it's still a cost, a pricely, a heavy cost to pay, But what I would say is that with the technology, these damn cameras, it's like they got rid of all these toll booths. But when they got rid of the toll booths, now they're able to increase the toll pay to create more toll stops. They got rid of the toll booths. They got rid of the people manning the little toll booth or whatever. But now it's like with the cameras up, they're making more money because they put no more tolls. It's not far-fetched what they're talking about. I wouldn't be shocked if they put a toll between Queens and Brooklyn real soon. I won't be shocked. Right there on the traffic light. I won't be shocked at all. I mean, look, man, I don't even have words to express how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? As a guy that has to make, runs here and there. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. And I'm going to pronounce that word the way it's spelled. Disgusting.
What's the LIR, man? What
Most people say disgusting.
What are they charging folks to ride the LIR these days?
A lot.
You know what? Yeah, honestly, I hadn't rode the LIR in a while, so I can't answer.
Okay.
I rode it about a month or so ago.
Oh,
and
did you?
From
Okay.
Penn Station to, where did I go? I was in your old neck of the woods, man. I was near Hofstra.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gosh. It was about... I paid about.
So you're talking about the Uniondale? Hempstead area.
Yeah, I was in starts with an O, man. I was in
Oyster Bay?
oh gosh, I'll get this wrong. Man.
Syosset.
Syosset. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in Suffolk County.
Yeah, I was at Syosset, and it was a nice chunk of change to ride over there.
It's ridiculous, man.
Hey, let us know at home, man. What do you think of these price gouges that are going on? Brother Sav said, hold on, let me put it back up because he had a comment because he's right in the thick of it. They need congestion pricing to get more funds for the MTA. I don't doubt that. And then also, they want you to use mass transit. Yeah, they want to force you to use it. Yep. Now, is that a consequence?
Controls your carbon footprint.
Right. And also, I wanted to know, do you think that was an outcome of the flooding?
Nah.
Increase in tolls, increase in civil taxes as a result of the flooding that may have taken out a couple of trains, a couple of buses,
Which flooding you're referring to, more or less?
The one that just happened a couple months ago.
Okay. I don't think so. I'm with the brothers on this one too. I don't think so at all. I think they're just trying to make more money.
Okay.
That's my opinion. Yeah.
Oh, we got a comment. Okay, let's see. What's the comment? MTA had a deficit. Okay. So it wasn't operational. It was more or less what they're charging, upcharging. Okay.
You gotta remember, man. You gotta pay them pension prices, man. And you gotta understand too. A lot of these public utilities that are in the New York State pension system. What's happening is some of these pensions are going unfunded to a degree, and then the other piece is there's more people drawn out of these pensions than people are putting into these pensions. Like
good point.
Social Security, with all the thing about the state workers, for example, most state workers, there's more people that's retired than people that are working. So you got to keep getting the money from somewhere.
Are y'all ready for the 15-minute city piece to be like, yo, you can only drive out of Queens or out of the Bronx or out of Westchester or wherever it is 100 times a year. And then after that 100 times, you got to put in special write-ups, special requests. We got the load jack on the car. And we can start interfering.
Don't got load jacks on the car.
I'm speculating because
no, hold on. Everybody's gonna have an electric car, and we know that's already linked in.
Interesting.
And so what happens when you try to be slick and ride across the bridge with your electric car? License plate XKJ-5524, deactivate, enter.
I hear you. I hear you on that.
You know what I'm saying? That's where it's headed, man.
We on our 1984 tonight.
There you go.
Yeah. Big Brother's watching.
Hey, speaking of Big Brother watching, speaking about being on our 1984, you know who's back, right?
Oh.
Your man Alex Jones.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Elon lifted the gag order. He can go back on Twitter and talk his stuff and strut his stuff and be a pretty peacock for the people and do all of the wear his tinfoil crown and put it down. And you know how he's starting it?
Wow.
He's starting it out with something really interesting I wanted to show y'all. Elon Musk got a video game out. I'm not Elon Musk. Alex Jones got a video game out. Did y'all hear about that?
I ain't hear about that one.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find it. Oh, gosh. Okay, here we go. Check this out. Real AZ Show.
Sir, we have some terrible news. What? Tell me the news. Don't preface it with some sort of statement. You might want to be sitting down for this. You can see I'm sitting down. I'm clearly sitting down. Alex Jones has made a new video game. What? How can he make a video game? He has negative $1.09 billion. Alex Jones is the shit. Is something you would never say if you don't know much about him, cause you only read the headlines. Each of these games has made over $1 billion. Alex Jones needs to make over $1 billion. To square things up and make everything even Steven. So he looked up things to do to make $1 billion. Then he did them all in a couple weeks. Step 1, publish a #1 book. Step 2, publish a #2, #1 Step 3, take a little break. Make a video game in which he references every single thing he's ever talked about, except the thing for which he must keep emptying his wallet, not to pay whichever people back for whatever they're talking now. Alex Jones' game is out with lots of special gears. Pretty cool that he got them all to agree to this. Alex Jones is the shit. It's something you would never say if you don't know much about him, cause you only read the headline.
Hey, man.
Yo.
He knocked the hustle.
Yo. What's up, man? What y'all think, man? Alex Jones is ready to go back on Twitter, man. What y'all think?
Yeah, he ready.
He's coming in guns blazing as you can see in the video game.
They calling it X these days.
As you can see, he's guns blazing.
Yo, Contra was one of my favorite games, man. Contra was popping. Contra was popping.
Heck yeah.
Spy.
Games, man.
Spy versus Spy, Contra.
Yep.
And what was the other one that was really hot? What was the other one? Come on, Luck. Tell me, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. You talking about the Double Dragon era?
Yeah, man. Ninja Raiden. All them games was hot.
Oh, yeah. Double Dragon.
Double Dragon. Yeah.
Double Dragon.
That's when they went through the street with the bats and the poles and all that.
Oh, yeah. That was a high game.
Yeah.
I love that game. That was my game. That was my game, so. I used to be up in the arcade, man. We had this arcade around the way where we could jip it for quarters.
Yes, sir. That was like not Chinese Connection, right? Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Where you had to fight the different levels and work your way up to the master.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. What y'all think, man? Alex Jones got a video game. What's y'all thoughts?
He's trying to make a $1 billion because he got to play people back. I don't see
Unreal,
you know, video games is where the money's at.
Just in time for the holy days, right?
Yep.
Oh, right on time.
Yeah.
He gonna get it. He gonna get the bag.
He gotta get that bread back, right? They kind of emptied him out, right?
Yeah, 5-year ban.
And then he realized that a lot of people who supported him about as broke as they come.
Yeah.
It's all the inbreds of America.
Yeah, that's about right.
When he was like flexing and turning red, that joint had me rolling. That joint had me on the floor. Is this a Fox fantasy, man? Him and Joe Rogan out there cutting up.
Oh man,
They get to get back together and cut up. What you think?
Oh, they're gonna get it. Joe Rogan, man, he got the keys to the town.
Especially with all of the UFO shit out now, you know, all of the scientists are you know, they're co-signing the UFO stuff now.
Finally the truth.
Yeah, man.
Right?
A lot of fuel for the fire with that one.
Crazy, right?
Absolutely. I had to show that video. Sometimes we get a little heavy with the subject matter and the dystopian talk, and I had to liven it up a little bit, make it a little more, put a little levity into it. My man turned beat red. I don't know what he did. He looked like one of them little hobbits on Lord of the Rings or something, man. With the big old nose with the pimple on top of it. My man looked crazy. I said, wow, this dude is out of control. He had some bread though, because when they was stripping him of that bread, I was like, wow, he had that much money on.
Word.
Nah, they were trying to make it hurt, man.
I said, I got to step my shop up.
Hell
You
yeah.
get all that fun in his mouth. I got to step my shop up, man. You know what I'm saying? I need to get attached to that type of bread. You know, what type of 10-fold
Word.
kufi I got to wear to get that bread? Yeah, man. Hey, we about to shut it down for the night. Thanks everybody who watched and everybody who contributed on all our channels, on everything that we did. Please go back if you want to contribute or ask a question or contribute, make a comment. Timestamp what you think is important. Leave a message. I will get back to you. If the comment is great, we'll play it in the Wednesday show. Brothers, y'all got anything y'all need to promote? Anything y'all need to put out there for the people to know before we get out of here?
No, just you know, make sure you tell one person a day, join the show.
Yep. I can ride with that.
Talking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Peace, bro.
Peace.
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 Love. Peace. We out of here. Y'all walk with power. Love on each other. We'll see y'all
Indeed.
on Wednesday. We'll see y'all on Hump Dirt. All right. Peace, y'all. Have a good night.
All right.